Putting a custom GPT in Microsoft Excel. Hey, this presentation is something I prepared for the AI Weekly Meetup, a weekly meeting at the University of Wisconsin Stout. They don't have a recording, so I'm redoing this for some friends who missed it. We'll post it all on YouTube. This is a great way to stay up to date on what's new in AI every week. From noon to 1 Central Time, that's 1 to 2 Eastern Time. Just come here and join the Zoom call, uwstout.edu/AI-weekly-meetup. I'll put the link in the description. So hey, just a quick intro. I'm Bill Jelen. I launched MrExcel.com in 1998. I'm the author of 73 books, mostly about Excel, but one about AI, and we're going to talk about that today. And creator of 2,700 YouTube videos. And the subject of today's discussion is the workflow for those 2,700 YouTube videos. It strikes me as ironic, right? The promise of AI. If you attend the weekly meetup, these people will all become common names to you. The CEO of Anthropic, Dario, he says that AI will one day cure most cancer, solve the climate crisis. Sam Altman from OpenAI will accelerate scientific discovery. I'm down here in Cape Canaveral. Former astronaut Ed Lu is using AI to detect near-Earth asteroids that humans completely missed. And it's just, it doesn't seem fitting that I'm here talking about eliminating a really boring 18-minute step in my YouTube video workflow. Like, these all seem like just amazing goals, and this is so mundane. But for me, it's taking this boring 18-minute thing that I really hate and making it go away using AI that is important to me. So shout out to the people trying to cure cancer and the climate crisis and detecting near-Earth asteroids. But for me, this is where I'm at. Okay, so in my YouTube videos, having captions is really important. I didn't realize that at first. For the first 15 years, I didn't have captions. But then Microsoft Press came to me and said how important it is that every image has alt text. We're doing this for people, accessibility issues. There's a lot of people watching YouTube in cubes or in the office with their sound off. Or people who aren't speaking English as a first language. It's easier to read English than to understand it at first, so it improves comprehension. And frankly, it helps with search. It allows Google to find this is the exact spot where they talked about this, right? So we have I have a personal commitment to human-read captions for all 2,700 videos, and we've done that. But I've noticed that YouTube's rules create awkward breaks in the captions. They don't understand that one full sentence needs to be on the screen at a time. So you'll have the end of one sentence and the start of a second sentence, maybe even the start of a third sentence, all in one caption. So here's a little video that I did about creating pivot tables. First caption was something about I have a lot of data today. The secret is knowing when to pull it out and put it in. And then the next caption says a pivot table, period. Pivot tables allow us to summarize data very quickly. It drives me nuts. And maybe I'm too OCD that I care about this. But it's just super obnoxious that YouTube captions are not automatically expressing complete thoughts. Also, so that's on YouTube. But on me, I apparently talk in run-on sentences. I just go on and on and on and on and on, and there's never a period. And so you get these really long captions, or captions that break at the wrong spot. So I spend way too much time fixing this, right? And just a shout out here to an OpenAI tool called Whisper. This is from OpenAI. You install it on your local computer. It is a Python library that creates a transcript file from a video or audio recording. It runs locally on my PC, right? So I save the MP4 file out for YouTube, and then I save an M4A file out just for audio, and then open a command line, call Whisper. Here's the file name, some settings, and 5 or 6 minutes later, I have a text file that has everything that I said. For the Stone Age, for the first, from 2008 to 2024, every video that I created, I was fixing these captions manually in Word, and I'll show you that, right? And in general, what I would find is that it takes about 6 minutes per minute of video. So a 3-minute video, 18 minutes, and in the old days, I remember in the old days, I used to be able to record a video, edit it, post it, and the whole thing in 15 minutes, right? So now just doing the captions is taking longer than the video would take, right? So that was up through 2024. In 2025, I learned how to create a custom GPT in ChatGPT, and this changed everything because now I'm able to take this 18-minute process and do it in a minute, right? There's still a bug. No matter what I do, I can't get OpenAI to see the difference between a line feed, that's an ASCII character 10, and a carriage return, an ASCII character 13. And so, I'm really good at typing this Control H, that's find and replace, change every *L tab to a *P, Alt A for replace all, press enter, press escape, to fix the captions that this process is doing. So instead of 18 minutes, I'm spending 1 minute to get the captions, 30 seconds to fix things in Word. I'm not really complaining about it. It's one of those things. It's like we went from 18 minutes to a minute and a half. That's great. But now, in 2026, I realized that I can move the instructions for the Custom GPT from OpenAI right to Sheet 1 in Excel. And then we go into Edit with Copilot in Excel, and I have all the goodness of Excel's tools, so Power Query, formulas, and all kinds of things. And the prompt is, hey, follow the instructions, right? And it is working really, really well. And that's the point of today. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on the Stone Age, but here's just what used to happen, right? So the Whisper transcript will look something like this. We have a lot of data today, period, press a return, and then change that to capital A for and. And the secret is knowing, basically I'm trying to get one full caption on a single line with a period at the end. And the secret is knowing, right? So grammatically this isn't correct to capitalize the and, but it creates better captions. And those captions match what I say. Pivot tables allow us to summarize this data very quickly, start with tabular data like this. All right, and just going through and fixing things line by line by line. Now this was a really short 40-second video that I made for the demo. In real life, like this is a typical video that I have to go through and fix. It takes a long time to go through and fix it. Okay, so let's take a look at the second step. When last year, in 2025, I learned how to create a custom GPT in ChatGPT Plus. That's the $20 a month plan. So in the $20 a month plan, on the left-hand side, there's a section called GPTs, and I create a new GPT. Let's go take a look at one of those. All right, so here I am in ChatGPT. These are all of my custom GPTs. Here's one that I called Whisper Transcript Formatter. When I first created this, it's going to look a lot like this, the Edit GPT experience. It has two tabs, Create, where you just type what you're trying to do, and Configure. I'll tell you, I've created 15 or so GPTs, and I'm never going to create, I'm always going to configure, because there's more fields here. It just kind of walks me through it. So give it a name, the Whisper Transcript Formatter, that appears there. The description will appear there. And then the instructions. These are the important things. These are the rules that I've learned in doing this process manually that I want them to do, right? And so this is the most important part of the GPT. It tells OpenAI what to do in order to get the data cleaned, right? Conversation starters is what appears here in this box. And then knowledge. This is a Markdown file. The Markdown file shows 3 to 5 examples. Now look, I fought with ChatGPT on this. I'm like, I have hundreds of examples. Like, no, we just need 3. Show us what the transcript looked like coming out of Whisper and what it looked like after you fixed it. And then here's example 2. This is the transcript out of Whisper and what it looks like after you fixed it. So I save those examples Whisper to YouTube as a .markdown file and make that available to the custom GPT. Now, I'm going to mention that Microsoft has a very similar process for this, right? And when I was in the process of writing the book of how to create a custom GPT, I did attempt to create some agents in Microsoft, right? Very similar process. I mean, the create screen is almost identical. But here's the thing. It was really hard to get those to surface in Excel and Word. Sometimes they would surface and sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes they would surface, but they wouldn't do anything that I asked for. They would completely ignore everything. And that was 2025. And so I felt guilty writing that book saying, here's all of these examples with OpenAI that are working and working very well. And here's 2 examples in Microsoft Copilot where it's just not getting it, right? My old friend Dave, who was running Excel 15 years ago, I got in touch with him. I said, hey, this is killing me that this is not working, okay? The great news is that Microsoft abandoned a lot of their 2025 Copilot work and came out with something new in 2026. And as I'm going to show you, it's now working in Excel. But at the time that I created this, it was not viable in the Microsoft environment, so I had to come out here to OpenAI. Now, let me show you how awesome this is here. I'm going to come back to the unclean data from Whisper. I'm going to copy and I just paste Control V in this Custom GPT, and in a few seconds, they're going to start to produce clean captions, right? So the periods are in the right spot. They understand that when I have the word "and" as a conjunction, they're going to capitalize that as the start of a second sentence. And it just works great. Now, one very annoying thing is they absolutely refuse to put carriage returns after every line, which just drives me nuts, right? So I'd always take that data, copy it to Word, paste into Word, Control Home, Control H, every recurrence of "L" change to "P," Alt A to replace all done. We made 6 replacements, so that's okay. Press Escape, and then I would copy this and go on to the next step. I definitely had some interesting conversations with ChatGPT. Is like, how can you not understand the difference between a character 10 line feed and a character 13? But it just doesn't, right? It was one of those things that we couldn't get to happen. Okay, so that's a demo. The great things about custom GPTs and OpenAI, boy, they're super easy to set up, super easy to use. There's still some weird bugs. I felt bad abandoning the Microsoft environment after all my Microsoft MVP. And then this is just me being paranoid, right? And ChatGPT will even mock me for this statement. Is OpenAI training from my data? This is a real concern to me. I mean, they've taken all of the data from the MrExcel message board and trained on that. They say that they aren't. They're saying that they're not learning anything from the questions I'm asking. But we have many days content that was under NDA from Microsoft just a few hours ago, and now I'm recording a video showing off this new feature that is brand new. And how is OpenAI not training on that, right? I mean, they say they aren't. I'm sitting here with a copy of the New Yorker magazine from April 13th, 2026, where there is a incredibly long article called "Moment of Truth" by Ronan Farrow and Andrew Morantz, that really is all about Sam Altman and OpenAI, and he has a pattern of not telling the truth. So I'm really concerned about this, and people are going to look at this and say I'm just paranoid. Real life, I love it. I've set up 12 to 15 agents and use them regularly, right? So it's really good. And I've written a book, Train Your Own GPT, in 2025 that talks about how to set these up. There'll be check that I in the top right-hand corner for a link to the book. Okay, let's talk about what's new in 2026. I can take the entire custom GPT instructions and move it just to sheet 1. Just put it in sheet 1, A1 through whatever, and leave those instructions. I also took the Markdown file, the knowledge file, and put that on a separate sheet. And now I get to use all the goodness of Excel's tools, right? And rather than paying an extra $20 a month, my employer's already paying for Microsoft Office, probably with Copilot if you have an E3 or an E5 subscription. So I get out of paying that extra $20 a month. There's also, we have this trust boundary that we're putting our data up in the cloud. So that means the company's already made a commitment that we trust that Microsoft is not going to take our data or use our data. They're not going to create ads for us based on our data. And so with that trust boundary, by using these tools inside of Microsoft Excel, yeah, hey, we've already exposed our data to Microsoft once, and if we trust that, then we're not sending it on to someone else. Okay, so let's do a demo of this. All right, this is an Excel workbook. I have 4 sheets at the bottom: instructions, data, output, and knowledge. The instructions, pretty much, were copied from the custom GPT in OpenAI. Now, that wasn't perfect, right? And I found that this line was causing Edit with Copilot a lot of problems, because now I'm sending the data to Anthropic, Claude, and it's really taking this one sentence, roughly 8 to 10 words per line, near the top, like it's the 8th row of instructions. It was paying way too much attention to this and not breaking the data where I wanted it to be broken, right? So I had a lot of conversations with Copilot. Like, hey, OpenAI is doing this, and Edit with Copilot is doing this. Go look at my instructions and tell me what I need to change, right? And it added a lot of things to really specify when it should break a line and when it should not. So, there's 50 lines of instructions here as opposed to maybe 40 over in OpenAI. Yeah, that took half an hour one day to get it to work. But it was beautiful in that, I had, this is what OpenAI is doing, this is what Claude is doing. It helped me get it to match, and now it does match. I also love that I'm able to use formulas to rewrite instructions. So, I can count how many rows of data we have today. All right, now we're going to switch over to a little bit of Excel coolness here. I know a lot of people watching my channel are Excel aficionados, so you've probably run into Power Query in the past, right? But I think at the UW Stout AI meetup, there's a lot of people there that probably had not run into Power Query. This is a query here. So if we go to Data, Queries and Connections, and we'll edit this query, right-click, Edit in Power Query. The steps are this. First, we're going to go look at a folder called C, zip 102. This is where Whisper is writing all of the text files. Let me refresh the preview. Great. Filter this to just things where the extension is .txt, and then sort order descending based on date created, and keep the first one row from that. So creating a pivot table.txt is the most recent file. Remove everything that's not the folder path and name. Merge those with a backslash in between, so that becomes the most recent transcript, and remove the other columns. So when I close and load, basically this result here, when I click refresh all, is going to be the most recent Whisper transcript. And then, this is great, this is a brand new function that Microsoft just gave us. It's only in beta right now, called IMPORTTEXT. So I ask for the import text of basically cell B7, and they will put the text of the transcript right here. So this is in the instructions, starting in cell B9, continuing down column B. There are 10 rows in the most recent transcript, so the instructions can automatically update for that, right? And you can use any kind of tools that you can imagine. You can use VBA, you can use TypeScript, you can use Power Query, you can use awesome formulas. You can do anything that you need to manipulate this data first, right? And the output is eventually going to end up here. So in the knowledge file, example 1, here's the Whisper transcript, and then here's formatted for YouTube. You see that there's a lot more lines than formatted for YouTube. Here's example 2, here's the Whisper transcript, here's formatted for YouTube. Here is example 3, Whisper transcript, and then formatted for YouTube. All right, awesome. All we have to do now is open Copilot. On my computer, this is still under Home, and I have the Copilot icon here. There are a lot of my friends who are on the beta, and they have Copilot in a different location down here. It's called a dab, right? And I'm not looking forward to the day when this is hovering over my grid in Excel. Currently, it's not there for me, but it is coming. I hear from others who already have it there, seeing it's no longer in the Home tab. So either the Copilot up in the Home tab or down here in the bottom right. I will complain loudly when it shows up here in the bottom right because I don't want anything hovering over my grid. They've already put a Copilot icon over my grid, and we complained loudly, and they got rid of it. But this isn't just an Excel thing. This is an Office thing. And so it's going to be a lot harder and require a lot more complaining from all of us to get them to back off from that decision. All right, so Home, Copilot. A couple of things at the top. First off, we can choose which model to use, right? So in my organization, we've opted into Anthropic. Right now, Claude Opus 4.7 is the best. On the GDP Val benchmark, this is like 150 points better, like 1800 versus 1650 of GPT 5.2, which was the best model just a few weeks ago. All right, GPT 5.4 is just trailing Claude Opus 4.7 by 10 or 15. It's a near tie, right? So whether you choose this one or this one, it's going to be very close results. I also like up here that we have the little badge. So I'm going to choose, I guess we'll go with the GPT 5.4. which actually just came out this week for us here in Microsoft. And notice that the enterprise data protection is on. So that means that the data that I'm about to send through is not going to end up being used to train a model. All right. And then let's edit your workbook. Describe what you'd like to edit. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to say, follow the instructions. On the instruction sheet. And A1 to A58. All right, that's it. Now, because this is saved locally on my hard drive and not in OneDrive, they nag me and they say, hey, we think you should save this before you run it. I'm going to continue without saving. And I can actually come here and watch the output. All right, so it's planning to format the transcript according to the specific instructions. And we'll let this run. In real life, I actually go do something else right here. Start to upload the video to YouTube or something. Yeah, there we are. Okay, so we get the rainbow gradient border around what changed. So they deleted a bunch of, yeah, this is a much shorter video, this little sample here. They deleted it. It's still refining the sentences for clarity. All right, they're done. Capitalized Excel UI terms, right? Beautiful, that's great. When we click done, the gradient border goes away and we're done, right? So this replaces the OpenAI Custom GPT. I'm still calling OpenAI, but I'm not paying the $20 a month for it, right? This seems like a win-win. And like I don't have to take this data and copy it to Word to change the line feeds to carriage returns because these are all essentially carriage returns. In fact, really that step where a human had to touch it, take it to Word, run a bunch of commands, and then copy it somewhere else, there's a second GPT that then goes through and generates a whole bunch of things like the description. Right? This one doesn't even have a knowledge file. So really what we should be able to do here is we should just be able to take all of this, Control C. Let's just try this on the fly. I'm going to add a new worksheet called Step 2. And we'll paste. I'm going to clean this up a little bit to let them know where the transcript is. All right, so describe where they're going to find the file, and then place the output on the YouTube worksheet tab, starting in cell A1. We'll add that in here. All right. Now, this is going to require some fine-tuning, I'm sure, but right now, here just live, let's try this. So describe what you'd like to edit. Follow the instructions found on Step 2 worksheet. Okay, so let's see how this did. Ah, beautiful. So there's my description. The video answers these common questions. Look at this. This is awesome. All right, so now I've taken one more human step out, and I'm betting that I could probably just combine these sets of instructions into one. A, clean the transcript, and then B, generate all of these items. And it'll be one last step. Right? Okay, so hey, really good here. Advantages. We get to choose between OpenAI and Claude. New models coming all the time. We have the trust boundary with the enterprise data protection. As I just showed, we can combine instructions for the next agent on another worksheet. My only issue is the chat history is not as robust. Like right now I can go back to OpenAI and see all the chat history from every video I've ever done. But this is not reliably working on April 23rd, 2026. If you haven't clicked new chat, you haven't changed the name of the workbook, the chat history is supposed to stay, but it's not always staying. Microsoft is trying to fix that. It's not there yet. I don't feel as sure that I can get back to all that chat history in Excel. And that just might be that I need to get more comfortable with it. Save each video in a different workbook, and will the chat history be there? I'm not positive. But I'm super, super excited that now I get to come back into the Microsoft environment where I trust them more than I'm trusting OpenAI and run these steps, which take the really monotonous 18 minutes of cleaning the subtitles and then the somewhat monotonous 6 or 10 minutes of generating the description, and just makes it go away. Is it as exciting as curing cancer? It definitely is not. But taking 24 minutes of tedium out of my day, well, yeah, that is a great reason. And hey, again, shout out to the folks at the AI Weekly Meetup, Justin Sullivan, Emily Laird, for letting me speak to their group. I've been attending this for the last 10 or 11 weeks. It's a regular on my Wednesday calendar. It keeps you in the loop of what's happening in this amazing new world of artificial intelligence. Emily likes to call it the soap opera of these people that control the 5 companies and the various things that are happening between those companies. All right, well, hey, I want to thank you for stopping by. We'll see you next time for another netcast from Mr. Excel.